In Lesson 2, we'll be drawing another hand together to reinforce what you just learned and to build on it. So there are going to be some variations in this lesson, and it'll go at a faster pace. To begin, you'll need to download the file Hand2 from your course curriculum and print it out at 8.5 by 11. You'll need the exact same setup as the first hand drawing, so 2B and 3B lead pencils, as well as a B and an H pencil. You should also have a 4H pencil available because the majority of this image is very light, so most of the shading will be done with lighter or harder leads. We're going to be using the same initial approach as the first hand drawing, so step 1 will be to define the perimeter. So again, tape both your photo reference and drawing paper down next to each other, exactly as you see in my example. Begin by lining your ruler up with the angle at the top of the thumb. Make a mark where your ruler touches the left hand and right hand margin of your photograph, and draw a line on your photograph indicating the angle. I'm just making a mark on my ruler to show me where the mark I made on the left hand margin is, then replicating it on the paper I'm going to draw on. I'm sorry that side of the paper is out of frame, but I want to give you the most close-up view I possibly can so you can see the detail of every line I make. I'm sure you already know by now, but if you look in the left-hand corner, you'll see I'm using a 2B lead. As I mentioned, this lesson will go at a quicker pace than the last one, but at the risk of being redundant, I am going to continue to explain what I'm doing because there was a lot of information to retain in that first hand drawing. You've learned the fundamentals, but I want to reinforce them to make sure they stick. Besides, everyone taking this course needs to practice what they just learned. I've made a living as an artist for 24 years, and I still need to practice every day. I still suggest you work along with the lesson the same way you did in the first one. So watch me do a step, pause your video, and repeat the step. Especially for this part. Learning what angles are best to use as perimeter lines is a skill that takes some time to learn. Of course, ultimately, the idea is to use fewer and fewer perimeter lines, the better you get at drawing. Think of them as training wheels. Take a moment to really look at the photograph. Are you starting to get better at seeing the lines that would be the most helpful angles to replicate? What line would you choose next? Notice that the lines I draw intersect. Doing that creates shapes, like that little triangle in the negative space between the fingers and the lines. Those shapes are very helpful for drawing the curves at the tips of the fingers. I'm just going to skip ahead a little, you get the idea. But just so you know, I skipped over putting in these two perimeter lines, so pause your video and put them in. I'm just going to draw in this one last line to give me the angle of the arm, then I'll start the outline.